You're listening to Podcast PXN, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. Let's do this.
What is up, guys? Welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 112. I am one of your hosts today, local Portland sad boy, Christian Macias, and I'm joined over Discord today by Kentucky's #1 Spartan and evening grass cutter. I keep forgetting to edit that out. Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM.
Christian, it's November. Who's
Sorry.
grass cutting?
I cut grass today.
Oh.
It's officially out, as well as the Nintendo aficionado, Roro.
Hi.
And lastly, another guest today, the man who waited way too long to play Hades, but he rectified it, Gilbo Baggins, aka Gage. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
I'm good.
Fantastic. Before we get into our discussion, thank you to everyone watching us live and participating over in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Just search Podcast PXN, as well as on twitch.tv/podcastpxn. The topic of the show today, Dan vetoed the old one. He did not want to discuss whether or not Master Chief used the restroom or how he did that. Instead, we're going to be... That was supposed to be in the pre-show, but I forgot to bring it up. Instead, we were talking remakes. How soon is too soon? Because there's a certain news item I want to get your guys' opinions on. But first, the news always starts with the PXN news of the week. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Of course, we started doing some quick bites, some smaller news stories, so we'll start there. Late last week, 19 minutes of Elden Ring gameplay was shown off. I know Dan isn't a big Souls guy, Ro isn't either, but did you guys check it out? Gage, I don't know if you're a Souls guy or not. Did you guys check out the video? Any thoughts here?
So what I've seen was just kind of like kind of funny Gamescast stuff. So I've seen like clips here and there, but I watched the 15-minute thing that they did last week, I think, when they first revealed the gameplay, and then a little bit of the impressions from whatever came out today, and thoughts from like Tamar Hussein and some other Bloodborne sort of guys out there. And it looks pretty good. It's a bit more accessible to people like me who haven't played a Souls game before, where it's not difficult from the get-go, but obviously it ramps up in difficulty as you progress. So that's a plus for me. I don't know how someone like you, Christian, feels about that, but I'm sure you would be fine with that, I know you like accessibility in games anyway. But yeah, I like what I saw so far. Not something that it was something that I want to try, but didn't like hype me any further than I already am. But I'm definitely still interested to give it a shot once it comes around.
Fantastic.
I got nothing.
That's okay.
I've not tried any of the Souls games. I don't know why, but this one seems to speak to me. I don't know if it's the open world aspect where it almost seems like it's a Souls game, but also kind of like it'll make it feel like more of an RPG. That kind of interests me a little bit, but I do like the open world aspect and the gameplay where there's like light stealth options. I'd like that. I like the idea of freedom of choice. So this might be one that I jump into. Yeah, but I don't have any experience with like Sekiro or Bloodborne or Dark Souls or any of that stuff. No.
That's fair. You should try it out if you haven't. Otherwise, that trailer was my game of the year for this year. Moving on, Super Mario 3D All-Stars will receive an update that allows players to use the N64 controller with Super Mario 64. Was not expecting Nintendo to do anything like this. I think that is very cool news.
Very cool.
I wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah. Very cool.
Another quick bite. There was a leak earlier today that Naruto and the Hidden Leaf Village Creative Hub will supposedly be added on the 16th. And then Fortnite came out and was like, you know what? Yeah, it's true. Naruto was coming. Believe it. And of course, Ro and I do.
Yes. Heck yeah.
So
That's okay.
is that going to bring you guys to Fortnite? Are you guys going to do some duos on some Fortnite?
It's going to get me to sign in on that day, purchase the Naruto skin, and then leave. That is what it's going to do. I did the same thing for Ariana Grande. Just like her skin was there. I was like, all right, I love Ariana Grande. I'm going to buy the skin. Same thing's going to happen with Naruto. They're just there for when, if for some reason I want to get back into Fortnite, I've got these awesome skins of characters that I love. So whenever I get back into it, if I get back into it, I have those characters there. And that's essentially it. Unless this hub that they're talking about is just absolutely super fun and I get sucked in, but not likely. But we shall see.
Isn't that so wild that like we've logged in just to buy characters
Yeah.
just for that? Like I bought Master Chief and then logged back
we?
off. Well,
Yeah, I was gonna say
mean,
who's we.
me and
Yeah.
Ro, I guess.
That's weird, yeah.
But, somebody
Yeah,
else
good.
that has a matching shirt is in the chat. Brenty.
Oh,
Good evening, fellas.
My father.
Have a good one. Thank you.
thank you.
Hello. Last quick bite for you guys today. Steam Deck has unfortunately been delayed by 2 months to February 2022. So that is unfortunate, but if it's going to lead to a great product, then I think it's okay.
Agreed.
Alrighty. News of the week. You guys ready?
So ready.
Yes.
First big news item comes, I'm pulling from Nibel over on Twitter. Konami will temporarily remove some Metal Gear games from digital storefronts due to licensing issues. If you click on that link here I got in the show doc, there's a long list of games that you are no longer able to purchase on digital storefronts, including MGS2, MGS3, the HD collections of those games. I think Peace Walker is included in those HD collections. I think MGS4 might be somewhere on this list. I'm not sure. You can't buy it on PlayStation, on Xbox storefronts, Nintendo 3DS, Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, which is a surprise, and then GOG as well. Which I understand licensing is a big issue, and I try to be on like the digital front. Like I don't have the disc PS5; I'm all digital. But it's stuff like this that's a reminder that we need better preservation of our games in the industry. Like I don't have any copies of my Metal Gear Solid games. I guess I have the PS1 now, but hopefully they'll be able to get it back up soon and figure licensing stuff out, because that is a big bummer for people who want to play those games who just aren't able to buy them now.
It's bizarre too. Like normally, like licensing issues, I feel like in the past have been like somebody buys up the license to a certain property, and then that company that made it in the past can't sell it anymore. But like Metal Gear is owned by Konami, so like what is in these games that is like licensed that they don't already own? It's kind of weird. Like maybe there's like some weird advertisement in there or something, like some kind of cardboard box like company or something that's on. I don't know. That was the best thing. I mean,
the games have music. Could be music.
Oh, yes.
Like case in point, the original cut of Death Stranding had Monster Energy drink, and then you take the director's cut, and they no longer have the licensing to use that.
Oh,
I know it's not quite the same as taking the game entirely off the stores, but I don't know.
I guess it's not as easy to update those games though, so I guess just removing them until they figure it out is the best way to get around that. I guess I don't know either. But yeah, that is a bummer, and hopefully they are able to sort that out. When I saw this, like, oh, is there a collection coming? Because it reminded me of how GTA removed the games before this came out, but I don't think this is the same sort of thing. That would be awesome though, but I don't think that's the reason that they're doing this. I think, like you said, it's a licensing thing. But yeah, hopefully it gets figured out. And yeah, getting stuff digital can be kind of a scary thing these days.
Yeah. Gage, any thoughts here before we move on?
Yeah, well, when it comes to product placement, I feel like it's a risk you have to take as a creative if you want to participate in that, because it's like you know the legality of, say, like the Monster Energy drink, although not the same comparison. I feel like that's a risk that you have to know you're taking if you decide to put that in your art, because you know that at any time things can change, right? It's a bit different when it comes to actual full digital games, but I mean, it's just one of those things where I guess if you want to avoid this, just try to make sure everything in your game is completely 100% original, and you know that you have creative control over whatever it is, because then things like this happen. It's hard. It would be hard to come up with some sort of system to make sure this doesn't happen. I don't know how that happens, but I do agree, Christian, that as somebody who is almost all digital as well, there is sort of that unease of like, is this going to get taken away at any point? Or I feel like Steam's pretty good with that. Like if they take stuff off, you get to keep it, but that doesn't really apply everywhere, right? So
yeah. I'm very curious to find out why it is these games had this licensing issue. So hopefully more news of that to come in the next few days. Otherwise, moving on, Sega has trademarked the name Sonic Frontiers. Not sure if it's related to the game that was shown earlier in the year during the anniversary stream. That what could be the new game from the Sega team, maybe working on a 3D Sonic. And then the scuttlebutt on Twitter. I always say that word, scuttlebutt. Was that perhaps it's indicative of a 3D Sonic. What are you guys? Are first of all, are you guys even Sonic fans at all?
I think I'm.
Yeah, thank you, Ro.
Yeah,
Nice.
all right.
Yes. Does a potential 3D Sonic game excite you?
Yes, and I think it is the one by the Sega team. I think this did leak a while ago, but now it's coming up again. It was leaked as to be Sonic Rangers, and then somebody on Reddit was like, actually, it's Sonic Frontiers, and it's going to be an open world 3D Sonic game. And everybody was like, okay, sure, whatever. And now it's leaked again with Sonic Frontiers, and now, so maybe he was right. So it is possibly an open world Sonic game. So that's the scuttlebutt that's going around on Twitter right now, that people are talking about, like, do we want an open world Sonic game? What does that even look like? Apparently it's akin to Breath of the Wild is what that Reddit leaker was saying. What does a Breath of the Wild Sonic game looks like? I have no idea. But yeah, it was a very short teaser that we got from that anniversary stream. So I'm definitely excited to see more from whatever this is, because yeah, I would love a new Sonic game. It's very hit or miss with Sonic games. But apparently they said that they want this to be as memorable as Sonic Adventure, which is a huge ask because that is one of the most beloved Sonic games in like that franchise. So if that's what they're shooting for, then that's good news. That's good to hear. So here's hoping that they nail that. If
they bring back the Chow Garden, they're halfway there. So.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
So does this is this trademark like specifically for video games? Because like somebody on Twitter I saw said that this might be like the sequel to the Sonic movie. Am I crazy in saying that?
I haven't seen that, but it's possible. I don't know. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that could be true.
But like, what if do we think it would be good or bad if they had like the Sonic movie called Sonic Frontiers and then a game also called Sonic Frontiers to like try to get the marketing behind that name? Like, is that a bad idea, do we think?
Well, that's what I wonder. Do they trademark just movies or do they trademark franchises? Because I know Dune is like a trademark, right? Because it's a franchise. But you don't really hear like Matt Reeves has trademarked the Batman, and then that's
right. Yeah,
right. I think the Sonic Frontiers hints that at least it's going to be a multimedia something, right? Maybe a new franchise, a spin-off or something like that. But yeah,
aren't they also working on some kind of show as well?
I thought so too. Yeah.
That one's called Sonic Prime, I think, and I think it's called Sonic Prime. Let me check that out. But it's not. I know it's not called Sonic Prime. And it already has a name and a trailer and everything, I think. Let me see. Yeah, Sonic Prime comes out on Netflix 2022. May not have a trailer yet, actually. But they have confirmed the name for that one.
Gotcha. So it's not that. Either way, I am very excited for any kind of 3D Sonic games because I miss them. And I also enjoyed the 360 era Sonic quite a bit. It wasn't very good, but I still enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, yeah.
The only Sonic that I ever played for any length of time was the one where you could have pets and do talent shows or something like that.
Sonic Adventure 2.
That's the one.
Chow Garden.
Yep, that's the only one I remember, and I made those little pets have the best life that they could ever have.
Yes, dude. That lore is deep, by the way.
Is it?
And also like transforming them into like angels and demons and putting them going to the black market.
Yes.
Join us, Dan. Join us.
I don't think I've ever played a 3D Sonic game, actually. I've only played 2D Sonic games. So,
I will pay you money to play Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Okay. How much money are we talking here?
$5, dude.
Oh, come on. I've got a huge backlog, Christian.
Fair, that's fair. You should play some of that backlog instead of playing Master Chief Collection every week. But otherwise, I promise this is the first and only time I'll bring up NFT discourse on this podcast. Discord CEO Jason Citron reportedly teasing some kind of NFT/ETH integration into Discord. There's a screenshot here. You can follow that in the doc. Otherwise, Nibel If you look up Nibellion on Twitter and look up NFT, you'll find it. It appears like you can have. I don't know what they're doing, but you can supposedly connect your accounts if you're a big NFT guy. I don't think we have any big NFT users or listeners of the show, but if you're into that, there you go. You might have some integration there. I don't know what they're going to use it for, but yeah, it's there.
I hate it. I hate NFTs so much. I'm so over it.
I'm over it, and at the same time, I don't think I ever understood it. At the same time, it's like I'm like, I hate it, but do I even get it? And I just know that I even if I did, from what I've learned about it so far, seems like a very stupid thing.
How quickly big publishers like EA and Activision got super excited about NFTs. Yeah. That made me instantly sus. I was like, no, I'm not gonna like this. If they're happy about it, I'm not happy about it.
Yeah,
because those are the two companies. Oh, sorry, Ro.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Those are the two companies that have been talking on Twitter, reportedly like trying to get into NFTs. Right? Was Ubisoft was the first one, and then EA was the second. Right? EA famously being voted as one of the worst companies every single year, which I kind of disagree with. But
I do too.
They're not the best either. So
yeah.
It also depends on which developer at EA you're talking about. Like Respawn is a super good place to work, from what people have said. Jason or Ben Sampella has done a great job with Respawn.
Love that studio.
Yes.
Bring us Titanfall 3, but we know this.
Please.
Yeah.
My last question here before we move on to the next story is, what would get you to buy an NFT? Dan, would you buy an NFT of Master Chief if Microsoft put it out? Don't lie to me.
If it was something cool, I guess I just don't know what am I using this for. Like I love Master
things, Dan.
I love Master Chief, but like I've got to have like a practical reason for it. Like I have tons of Halo themed things in my house, but I have practical reasons for it. You know, they're nice display pieces and such, but like, what is an NFT doing for me? I don't.
Hey Dan, what's the practical reason for the Fortnite skin?
When I play Fortnite to look like Master Chief. Boom.
There you have it, folks. Dan would maybe probably not buy one.
He would absolutely buy one. He would.
and then I'll screenshot it. I'll screenshot it, man. Moving on. A big one for you, Mass Effect folks. On N7 Day, there was a surprise posted by the Mass Effect team over on Twitter of a screenshot. It appears to be some kind of asteroid or a surface of a planet, but it resembles a lot of things. Some people say it looks like a Geth. I've only played Mass Effect 1. I'm sorry. I'm out of my what am I trying to say here? Out of my depth.
Element?
It looks like a Geth. It looks like one of those other things that the Mass Effect relays, I think. It could be a lot of things, but who in here is a big Mass Effect fan? Dan, are you a Mass Effect guy? Gage as well?
Gage.
How excited are you based off this image?
Very.
Not at all.
What?
Not at all.
Wow.
What the hell? All right, go ahead, Gage.
It's theater. Like Mass Effect will continue is what they've been going with, and it's just like they're so early in development. Like it's to me, it was because it's BioWare who does Mass Effect. This was very much a damage control from the mech one that died. What was it called?
Anthem.
That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even think they know what the game is yet, so I'm not going to get excited. I will say, I think it is teasing Geth. It looks exactly like a Geth, the crater in that thing. So I don't know. Legion was like the coolest part of Mass Effect 2, so that would be cool if we got some sort of Geth centric storyline. Get away from the Reapers and the Harbinger and all that nonsense. And yeah, I mean, I would like to get back into Mass Effect, but I don't buy this. This is the equivalent of the all CGI trailer that you're not supposed to get excited for, but it's even less than that.
I don't know. I'm a sucker for some good like sci-fi art, and like this was up my alley. Damn,
it's beautiful
too. Yeah,
it's Gage. All of those comments. What? No.
All right, let's hear it.
This is so. As a huge Mass Effect fan, I freaking love this. This is great, and like I just love the aesthetic that they're going back to, because I feel if this was a Halo thing, it would be the same thing. Like if we were getting a new Halo announcement that says Halo will return, I would be freaking the fuck out. I'd be like, yes. But like as a Mass Effect fan, this is exciting because Mass Effect Andromeda, people forget, was not made by the Edmonton team, which made Mass Effect, because obviously they were working on Anthem. So this is literally the Edmonton, if I could speak, team getting back to Mass Effect, and that in of itself is exciting. So seeing this and seeing like the tease of the Geth outline, I fucking love this, and I will eat it up all day. I know it's all marketing, and Mass Effect will continue is all like publicity and it's N7 day and all that, but I don't care. I will eat it up all day, every day.
That's fair, and it's two sides of the same coin. They reveal a picture like this, right? And then some people go, "Hell yeah, that's exciting! Mass Effect will continue." And then there's people like me where I go, "Well, it'd be kind of weird if it didn't." Like, it's your biggest one of your biggest franchises.
True.
Yeah. I know this picture for me maybe reminded me even that I had bought in the collectors. Sorry, what is the
Legendary
collection of Legendary? Yeah. So I don't know. I want to be in on the hype with everyone else. Like by the time this new Mass Effect rolls around, I don't know if I'll ever play Andromeda, but
no, don't.
Otherwise, yeah,
You don't need to at all.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, dang. Not okay.
2 is the best, but 3 is also
2
good.
is the best.
Yes.
So I've heard.
Just like
Moving
Halo.
No, that's wrong.
That is
Halo 3
is the best. At least.
Oh, okay.
Christian.
But I digress. Moving on, we've got. You know what? Dan included something here. I'll start here. Of course, Forza Horizon out. Not yet to the public. I think it's to those who bought the collector's edition. Am I correct there?
It is out as of yesterday to everyone.
Yes, and it's also available on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, you can play one of the best rated games available right now. We've got some review scores coming in for Forza Horizon 5. Bangers all around. IGN gave it a 10. Game Informer a 9.5. VGC 5 out of 5. Gaming Bolt a 10. PC Gamer 9. GameSpot 9. And many, many more. It's got great reviews all around. And supposedly, I forgot to include this, but Microsoft mentioned that it's like the best-selling game that they've put out. Am I right there?
I think, yeah, Xbox Studios.
Fastest selling, I think.
Best,
yeah.
yeah.
Fastest selling, okay.
Yeah.
Big congrats to the team with over at Forza Horizons. Like, I'd love to see studios be successful.
I just also wanted to mention, like you guys just mentioned, the Xbox Studios best launch or fastest launch or something like that. But Daniel, like,
yes,
Halo is later this year.
Yes,
this is a racing game, which is like kind of a niche thing already.
Yeah,
I can only imagine what Halo is going to do for Game Pass and Xbox Studios.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
And that's the thing, like, I feel like Xbox Game Studios hasn't gotten a lot of credit the last couple months, but they've put out some really good games. Like Psychonauts 2, obviously that's not an exclusive because of them having prior arrangements, but it's still technically an Xbox Game Studios game. You have Flight Simulator that's doing very well on console when it released. You got Age of Empires doing really well, and now Forza Horizon. Like, they're doing a really good job, and it's a really diverse lineup. And yeah, like you said, Ro, Halo Infinite coming soon, and I'll talk about my impressions in my games we're playing, or what you got for me. But yeah, this is awesome that Playground Games is continuing to knock it out of the park with their games for sure.
More importantly, actually just as important, in my opinion, are Forza Horizon's accessibility features. I've got 2 items here for you. One, there's an option in Forza Horizon 5 that lets players alter the game speed, giving you more reaction time. So you can go in and do various adjustments. So that way, the physics of the game are still remain the same, but everything is slower, of course, giving you more reaction time, which I think is a fantastic way, something I didn't even kind of conceive of, to add accessibility options for those that need it, who need more of a reaction time. I think that's fantastic. And just to add to that as well, I'm pulling from Kotaku. Microsoft is working on adding ASL and BSL for cinematics in Forza Horizon 5. I got a quote here Forza Horizon's 5 sign language interpreters will appear as picture-in-picture display, providing a new way for those with difficulties hearing to experience the game's storyline, such as it is. While a release date wasn't provided for this feature, the developers promise it will be coming to Forza Horizon 5 soon. Yes, and dude, so cool. As soon as I saw this, I was like, wow, I kind of want this to be in every single game.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where when it was announced that they were doing the ASL and BSL for cinematics, I was like, wait a minute, not a lot of games do that. Like, that's one demographic that's kind of just been left out of the loop a little bit. Now, obviously, they could read subtitles and all that stuff, but still, it would to have that option of just you've learned ASL, you've learned BSL. It's what you've been using to communicate all your life, and then you get to see it on screen for the games that you're playing. That's awesome. We've talked a lot about like accessibility and like when it comes to difficulty and the core game design, I have some feelings on that. But when it comes to things that don't affect gameplay at all, then yeah, like more is better, just like objectively, in my opinion. So, and the slowing down time, slowing down everything in the game so that the entirety of the simulation and the physics remain intact is a really good idea. Have they said whether or not it's like a toggle or is it like a slider that you can adjust?
So there's a video I linked in the doc. Maybe you don't have access to the doc, so I apologize, Gage. But the player pauses the game, goes into accessibility features, and then there's a game speed slider that now you can mess with.
That's awesome that it's a slider, because not only can you use that if you're somebody, like you said, with reaction time, hand-eye coordination, whatever issues you may have, but also if you're somebody who just wants to increase your abilities, like if you're not very good at simulation racing games, you can start off playing that game at like maybe 50% and then slowly increment your way up and get used to it, right? You can play the game at 80% so you kind of have a feel for speed and for timing, but you're still getting used to it. So the fact that it's a slider, a gradual slider, I think is really like even better than just having the option to toggle on and off.
Yeah. And like I've seen some people on Twitter like criticizing this feature because they're like, oh, this makes the game way too easy and it defeats the purpose of the game. It's like, number one, this is a mainly like single player game. Like it doesn't affect you. Like, why does that matter? I had this argument with Sean when Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order came out because I was like, this game can be very difficult, and like that's for me being a very capable person, and they didn't really have many, accessibility options for difficulty purposes for that game. And Sean always argued with me, well, no, they shouldn't have that, and that's the way it should be. And I just don't agree with that aspect.
I lean a little bit more his way when it comes to the core identity of a franchise. But as soon as you said that, I like in my head, I'm like, what is this messing with the long running theme of Forza being a really difficult racing game? Like literally, Forza Horizon is all about getting the car you want, doing crazy things, racing the dunes. It's not, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, while it's inspired by Souls, like it's the first of its game, franchise. So stuff like that, I don't have any problem with. Yeah, add accessibility in. So to me, people getting upset about Forza, I think is just maybe somebody wanting to get upset about something. Is just what it sounds like to me.
You had me at Dune, Gage.
Yes.
Yeah, Xbox continuing to kill the accessibility game.
And the freaking world is so amazingly like realized. It's insane. Like I've never been to Mexico, but like I feel like this is insanely like just detailed and realistic. Like I feel like I'm there essentially. Yeah, it's crazy.
Let's go, Dan.
Yeah,
I'm going in 2 weeks.
All right.
Oh yeah, nice. I don't know if it was a tweet that you made or if it was a tweet that you liked, but I saw Christian something where somebody said like, it's great to see Mexico when you take away the yellow filter and all of the violence, and you can see how beautiful this place is. Because I remember when they announced that it was officially Mexico, because there's a lot of rumors that it might be Japan, which I also think is a fantastic choice. Yes. I saw a lot of people saying like really upset, like, oh, it's just gonna be desert. It's like, no, that's not Mexico. Mexico is a vibrant, beautiful place, and the street murals and how they actually got real artists to import their work. That I can go on and on about that. I love it. I absolutely love it, and it was a great choice. I can't wait to jump into this.
Excited to hear more about you guys later and what you got for me. But until then, we got some more news stories for you. This comes from Video Game Chronicles. EA reportedly developing a new Fight Night game called Moneyball. Interesting name, by the way. Immediately think of baseball. That's because of the movie. But I digress. Development has been halted right now on the game until the next EA Sports UFC game is complete. I threw this in there because I hadn't thought about Fight Night as an EA franchise in a really long time. The last time I played a Fight Night game was like PS3. So it's been quite a while since then. And news of a new one coming out, might have to check it out because those games are fantastic to play, especially when they switch the controls over to stick gameplay, just like Skate. Very fun. Anyone else excited about Fight Night, or is that just me?
Not a big boxing fan in general, so like they were always that is one thing, like Fight Night and like those types of games were like very visually like appealing back in the day. Like those were like the visual spectacles where Forza Horizon may be a visual spectacle now. I think those games have always been like that high bar to hit for visuals. So yeah.
I used to stare at the sweat on fighters. It's like, damn, this looks amazing. Look at all that sweat.
Oh my gosh. I say cancel this and bring NBA Street back. I'm sorry, Christian.
Oh.
No, that's fine. You know what? I'm with you. I'm on Team Row now.
And NFL Street also. Boom.
Yes, while they're at it.
Sure,
yeah,
why not?
I'm not a huge fighting guy either, but I think this is great for the fans that are interested, of course.
I've never heard of this game before in my life.
Fight Night? No Fight Night?
Never heard of it before, no. But if we're talking about bringing back wacky sports games, Backbreakers. We need to bring back Backbreakers. That is a sleeper hit. No, it was one of the first games to use the Euphoria engine, which is like what Rockstar uses for their like adaptive ragdoll. And it was a football game. It was fantastic.
Yes,
Slow-mo replays. Backbreakers was great. Yeah, and it had this mode.
Play as a football. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, this is the thing. I didn't actually play the football mode. It had this mode called Tackle Alley, where it was like this progressively hard. You have the ball. You start at one end, and you have to run to the other end of the field. And like there's like increasing levels. There's like 50 mission or 50 waves, and it just puts opponents in different spots, and they run at you in certain ways. That game was just fun. It was just fun. I love that game.
That sounds cool. Moneyball is so far away, but you know what isn't so far away? Our next news story. This comes from YouTube. Some huge news. YouTube is planning to remove the public dislikes count starting today. So you may see some videos getting that dislike counter just completely taken off. So creators can still see dislikes, but if you're just a public viewer of someone else's video, you won't be able to see it anymore. So I will now start posting way more content on my Twitter.
you won't.
How do you guys feel about
trolls.
this?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think it's cool. I guess the only thing that I kind of have pause about is like sometimes like I'll look at something and be like, all right, this has like 40,000 dislikes and like 2,000 likes. Like I'm probably not going to be interested in using my time to watch this. So like I guess that's my only thing that I'm just like, but maybe that's just an issue where YouTube needs to cater their content better in their search optimization. When you search for something, like it needs to pull, I guess, the best content to the top. I don't know. I don't know. It's a tricky thing for sure, but definitely stops some of the toxicity that can happen. For sure.
I wouldn't hold your breath for that one, Dan.
Yeah.
I don't think that's good. Yeah, it's interesting when they make changes like these because you automatically think of the positives, like, okay, somebody who works really hard on something and puts it up, they won't have to see, the ratio and all that stuff. But I think it's a much broader conversation than that because there is a lot of clickbait titles and stuff like that and false misleading videos where if you just see that ratio, you can sort of okay, I don't need to, like you said, if you see a video where it's like, oh, I tried XYZ and it's got 60,000 dislikes and 5,000 upvotes, you're like, okay, well, this was probably a really biased or just a really toxic video. I can just skip this. So there's good and bad to it. And I'm worried about if it benefits the negative more than it protects the positive, right? If a big company puts up some sort of video that everyone hates and I know they can still see the number, but it's not as much of a big deal in terms of publicity because it won't be clearly visible how much they fucked up. Like I can think of lots of video game stories that relate to this where like say the Ghost Recon Frontlines reveal is a great thing, right? So if Ubisoft it knows that nobody can see that ratio, they might be able to play it off, and I can just see situations like that happening, which I'm a bit worried about. But
that was one of the first videos I thought of too.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ro, go ahead.
No, it's pretty much just what you guys are saying. I completely that's what I was thinking of too. Like the kind of the big companies seem to be getting the most out of this. Is like the first video that I went to was YouTube Rewind 2018, which is 3 years ago at this point, or I don't know, whatever. But I wanted to see if they had removed it, because it's like 19 million dislikes on that one, but they haven't done it yet. But yeah, it's like the Call of Duty trailer that we got all those years ago that was super mass disliked. The Recon one that was disliked as well. It's just not being able to see that as a consumer is kind of weird to me. They don't have as much don't have to take as much flack for it. Of course, there's Twitter. Of course, there's YouTube. There's still going to be content creators who's going to call them out on their stuff. It's just one less thing that they have to worry about, I guess. But I do like it in the fact where smaller creators, and I see this all the time, where just a guy uploads a nice little video about him talking about whatever. It could be the most wholesome thing, and it's just smashed with dislikes. And I'm watching, it's like, there's nothing wrong here. Why did everybody just dislike this? And sometimes it's bots, sometimes it's just people who are being mean. So that's a good way to combat that, as somebody who's watching it, and just that's good. But the creator is still going to see that as well. So it is weird, but at the end of the day, I don't think that they needed to change this, because the creator is still going to see those dislikes and they're still going to be affected by that. And we're just not going to see it. And I don't see how it benefits us not seeing it. But yeah.
It's weird that, like, I almost wonder how much they think about this, because just now, in the middle of you saying that, Rashan, I was thinking about it where, well, how about you meet in the middle, and if you are officially partnered with YouTube and making money, you have to have your likes and dislikes viewed. Whereas if you're somebody who's just putting up anything, like if you, like you said, some granddad posting a video of him filming his granddaughters running around, it's not visible for anybody because it doesn't matter. But if you're somebody who's benefiting from YouTube and is making money or is officially partnered with the site, well, like you say, the big corporations, it's like, well, now it's kind of important. I want to know what people think of this product, this content that I'm consuming.
Actually,
yeah, I kind of like that in terms of transparency and accountability. You make a really good point.
I think that's a great idea, Gage. And the other thing, like, why does the creator even need to see the dislikes if they can't see it? Like you said, Gage, like if they do that plan where only the partnered people see the likes and dislikes for their audience, then just let the other people not see their dislikes, like the creators and the audience, because it can be discouraging as like a small content creator, like posting something and then, getting a bunch of people disliking it. It just, all it does is just bring you down. It doesn't, do anything for you.
So that's my. I might have misspoke then. That's what I meant. So the small guys,
right?
They don't see the numbers of the dislikes. It's only if you're officially partnered with YouTube, then that stuff is displayed. So I must have said that backward. I apologize. But the small guys. Yeah, the small guys shouldn't have to see that because it doesn't matter. Like, you don't need to see that, right? But yeah,
I'm with you there. We'll see how it shakes out, and see how the response is to this huge change. Moving on, some Avengers news dropped today for you Avengers folks. Spiderman officially coming to PS4 and PS5 on November 30th. That is at the end of the month. And I know Dan had some thoughts on this. I want to give the mic over to him. He's ready to go.
I mean, yeah, I've been pretty outspoken about this since the day that this was announced, and personally, I don't think that I saw Greg Miller posting something that he was so excited about this, which I totally like. I get it. Spider-Man's awesome and it's a great character. And I think it's cool that he's coming to the game. But again, it's this thing where it's like an exclusive character for one platform that is being built by the developer and using all their resources to build this character and his story and his missions and all of that. And only one group of people are getting to play this. And there's 4, 5, 6 different communities of people that are playing this, because you got PC, Stadia, Xbox, PC. Oh, did I already say PC? I might have already said that, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's just very, frustrating because you're like, man, I'm paying the exact same amount of money. I've been with this game, like for fans of this game, I've been with this game since the beginning, just like all of the other fans. Like, why is this only on one platform? And I guess the answer is money, but yeah.
Yeah, money talks, I guess.
Yep.
Very weird that in this day and age. I'm sorry, Ro. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go for it, Christian.
No, I like it. Every time Dan talks about like exclusivity, it's like it's because it's a whole ass character, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Spider-Man is like the most viewed, most liked video on YouTube is the new Spider-Man movie that's coming out next month. Obviously, people are very excited for Spider-Man. There's a whole group of people who just can't even play this. That is crazy to think about.
The majority, right? Like,
overwhelming
exactly.
majority. Yeah. It's strange. I almost feel like because we're used to Sony owning the Spider-Man character in terms of entertainment, that they're getting away with it. But it is, when you really think of it, it is insane. Like, if this was any other multi-platform franchise, if GTA 5 came out and the third character was only playable on one of the platforms, that would be insane, right? Right now, obviously, Marvel's Avengers is not anywhere near as successful as GTA 5, but I mean, like, the point still stands. Like, you paid the same amount of money to access the same game. It's very strange that they went through with this. Like, I could understand Sony wanting this because it's a huge selling point. Not that they need it because they're still outselling Xbox like 2-1 or something crazy like that. But it's really weird that this could happen, and I'm sure it's mostly has to do with red tape and IP, and maybe behind the scenes like deal with Square Enix. But yeah, it doesn't sit right with me at all. It's very strange.
I almost wonder if this is tied into like Sony's arrangement with Marvel for the movies, because Sony owns the rights to the movie rights to Spider-Man, but they do not own the like mass media rights to Spider-Man. That's still owned by Marvel. So I almost wonder if that was part of their deal for Spider-Man to come to the MCU and that whole ordeal, that they control all the rights to Spider-Man for the next, however many years or whatever. I don't know. That's just me speculating, but I know they had to do some stuff to get that to work, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I know I cut you off earlier.
No, it's cool. We're going to see the first trailer tomorrow for it. Apparently, on IGN is going to be the one to show it off. I really like the Black Panther expansion that they did, and I thought the story mode was really good. And recently, I don't think we talked about it on the show, but how Square Enix, or the investors, I don't know, I think it was Square Enix, said how Eidos Montreal was the wrong suit for Marvel's Avengers or something like that. Do you guys remember that story where they were disappointed in whoever developed Marvel's Avengers, which I believe is Eidos Montreal, right?
Crystal Dynamics.
Crystal Dynamics.
Is it Crystal? Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
Crystal Dynamics.
Guardians.
Yep.
Yes. Thank you. But yeah, which is such, to me, BS, because they nailed the Tomb Raider franchise. They know how to make a good game. And I just think the live service aspect of it was the downside of it, because all the story mode stuff, in my opinion, is really good story mode stuff. And I think the campaign is great and the Black Panther stuff is great. I haven't played the Hawkeye stuff to completion, but I played a little bit of the Kate Bishop stuff. And it was pretty good story stuff. But the live action or live service part of the game is what really brings it down. Again, in my opinion, I think there's a lot of people out there who enjoy that stuff. But what worries me about this Spider-Man thing is, one, that we haven't seen anything of it yet. The first thing that we saw of it is this poster, and it's only a couple weeks out now. And that is called a hero event instead of like an expansion, which I guess in some cases, that's a good thing, because we're not getting a lot of content, and the people who are missing out on hopefully a lot of stuff. But what the heck is a hero event? We still don't know what a hero event is. But I guess we'll find out tomorrow, and hopefully, I don't even know if I should say hopefully it's something good, because should we get something good out of something that is just exclusive to one audience? So it's weird. And I'm such a huge Spider-Man fan. Like I have so many posters all over the place. I'm just so meh about this edition. This is like the first time I felt so bleh about a Spider-Man thing in my life.
Is this game crossplay too?
Yes.
Dude.
I don't. Is it?
I don't think it is actually.
Isn't it between console and PC?
I'm gonna let us find out.
I didn't.
I was gonna say, imagine pairing up with someone and like,
Yep.
dude, it's Spider-Man as a player.
Right.
I didn't.
Oh, I can't play as him.
I didn't think it was because of that reason, but maybe I could be wrong. But
No, I'm thinking of Outriders, which is another Square Enix
okay.
game. That's my bad.
Got
But I'm
it.
thinking of Outriders.
This one isn't
Not
okay.
crossplay.
But like, Ro, you shouldn't be like, you shouldn't feel bad for like being excited about this. Like, you should totally still be excited about this. Like, you're a huge Spider-Man fan. It's not,
Yeah.
you're not making the call
Yeah.
to say that this is exclusive.
Yeah.
So you can still
Yeah.
enjoy it. You have PS4, so like,
Yeah.
you should totally still check this out and enjoy it because you love Spider-Man. Like, that's. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just, Crystal Dynamics, Square Enix, Sony, Marvel, whoever made this decision, just it's not a great decision for gamers in general. So,
Agreed.
I'd just like to throw some heat onto Square Enix for a minute. I think it's so sleazy that they passed the buck to Crystal Dynamics and threw them under the bus like that by saying they were the wrong fit. Because let me tell you, I mean, okay, I'm not a video game developer, so feel free to disregard everything. But I think it's fairly reasonable to assume that no developer has a passion about monetizing things in their game. No developer thinks, oh man, you know what? I thought of this really great way to squeeze a couple dollars out of some players. So this whole Crystal Dynamics was the wrong team for this. No. You guys had the wrong idea about an Avengers game. You guys wanted to make it live service. You wanted to turn it into a business as opposed to a piece of art. And you're absolutely right, Ro. The Tomb Raider trilogy reboot was awesome and like universally liked. Not everybody loved it, but I didn't remember seeing a lot of hate for any of those games. So for them to throw Crystal Dynamics under the bus, that rubbed me the wrong way. That's the publishers have the final say in like monetizing the games. So, Crystal Dynamics, you keep doing you, all right? You deserve it.
Yes. You know what will rub you the right way? This last piece of news coming from IGN. An early gameplay teaser for Liza P. That P stands for Pinocchio, by the way.
ooh.
It's a Souls-like action RPG from indie studios NeoWiz West, and Round 8 has been shown. The steampunk game looks very much like a Bloodborne, but you're playing as Pinocchio. Indie Souls-like. It looks fantastic. I should have put this as a quick bite because I don't think any of us have actual opinions on it, but like the game looks pretty cool. I might check this out.
Yeah, it's a cool atmosphere. Again, not a huge Souls guy, but it does look really cool.
It looks a little spooky-ish.
Yes. Oh yeah.
The art style. I like the art style.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then I wanted to throw in one more here before we get to what you got for me. And we don't have to talk about this, even at all, but I think it's some pretty cool information. This comes from Joseph from Hyped for Games. He did this really cool. I think he does this every year. He has this huge thread on all the stats on this year's PlayStation Plus. So it's the first year of PS Plus with the PS5, and he's got a video breakdown on it as well. You can check that out. But the graphic that I put, here's a final breakdown on PS Plus on PS5 year one totals. There were 15 PS5 only titles, 20 PS Plus collection games, which of course was announced when the console was coming out. 26 PS4 monthly. I'm not sure what that graphic actually means. But the interesting stuff is here at the bottom. 61 total games playable on PS5. The value of those games, $1,919.39 worth of games that you got if you were a subscriber to PS Plus. The average price per game equates to $31.46, and the average in Metacritic is 77. We don't have to think about how much money these services kind of allow you to save if you do subscribe. So if you're a PS Plus player, very cool stats for you. Would love to see this kind of stuff for Game Pass as well, because no doubt it is absolutely wild as well.
Don't do games with gold though. Real bad. Real bad.
Yeah.
I forgot about gold.
Yeah, because that would be a direct comparison to PS Plus games, and it's Microsoft pretty much forgot about games with gold since Game Pass.
You forgot about games with gold. So did they every 20 days, and then they realized, we gotta put out 2 new games.
Yeah.
And then they just find something.
Oh look, we got this game.
Yeah.
Have it for free. Why not?
Yeah.
That is it for the news of the week. Let's move into what you got for me. Dan, let's start with you.
Yes, so Forza Horizon 5, playing quite a bit of that. I got like maybe 2 to 3 hours into it, and very much enjoying it. That intro for Forza Horizon 5, incredible. Freaking love that intro. Like, and not even just the intro, like what it sets up like for the world is just super cool. Like you have this airplane dropping like different vehicles into different sections of the map. Like you get dropped into like a volcano area. I'm just like, what? Like there's a active volcano here? What the heck? And you get dropped in like the jungle and like all these different places. I love it so freaking much. And it hit even more home for me when later in the game, like you have these events or whatever you want to call them that you unlock as you progress through the game. And I love it because you can pick where you want to go. Like you can say like you want this adventure or a different adventure, like in the jungle or in the desert or wherever you want to go, or track racing. You can choose. So like I chose like one of the cooler like adventure routes, and it literally took me back to the volcano again, like, and actually explored around the volcano. There was like side missions where you like or I guess mini games or mini challenges or whatever to like hit the steam vents for the volcano to like release some pressure for the volcano, which is just insane. Like it's a freaking car game, but like you're doing side quests in it that you've never done before in Horizon games. So I think it's very cool. And I definitely think like before this game, I feel like Playground was kind of getting overlooked in my opinion. And like they did such an amazing job on Forza Horizon 3 and 4. Like I love those games so much. Like Australia was amazing. I was less excited about Britain, but the gameplay was better for 4. But man, they just continue to knock it out of the park, and I literally cannot wait to see what their take on Fable is going to be, because they have just banged it out. Every single Horizon game's gotten better. It's so good. And even it's not even just a racing game. Like even if you don't like racing games, you will like this game, because it's not just a racing game. Like there is racing in it, but like that's just one piece of the pie.
Real quick, is there still a studio working on Motorsport?
Yes, Turn 10 is the developer.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes, and that's supposedly coming next year, because it's supposed to be like a full reboot of Motorsport. So
cool. Bro, I know you've also been playing Forza.
Yes. Just before I go into Forza, did somebody edit the names here, or did me and Dan just both spell it wrong?
Oh, what the heck?
I think it was Gage.
Okay.
You son of a gun!
Make sure you pronounce it correctly. Thank you, Gage.
Wait, there's no T in there either. What the hell's going on here?
That's funny. But anyways, before I get to off track here, I agree with Dan. I've only played like I would say maybe 2 hours, maybe not even that much so far. I just started playing it today, but I've enjoyed what I've played so far. So I'm very early on in it. I like how I can name my character. I didn't go with Ro or Roshan or anything like that, because there's no way they'll be able to say it. But it's really cool that if your name is on the list, they'll be able to like say it in the game, which I thought that was so cool. That doesn't usually happen. If you name yourself, if you name yourself, it's usually just not. They just don't usually say your name unless you pick a specific name. So I thought it was cool that they have an entire list of names that work in game. And I chose Potato, of course. So every time they call stage, like, oh, Potato, and I was like, yeah, I chose the right name. I like this a lot.
The
opening was really cool.
Sorry. Did you like the character options? Like, I thought it was really cool that you could literally do whatever, you could have female voice, male voice. Like, I thought they had a lot of character options.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I went pretty basic. I just made like a Ramona Flowers looking character because I love that character.
Nice.
So I just got a character with blue hair and, white girl with blue hair pretty much. But I that's what I went for, named her Potato. I'm having a good time so far. Very early on. I never really play racing games, but I'm enjoying my time with it so far. Not much to say different than Daniel. I'm having a good time so far. But what I have been playing a lot of is Animal Crossing Happy Home Paradise. In the dock it says Troubled Home Paradise. But I've been playing Happy Home Paradise, having a blast with that. I remember a couple weeks ago I asked Daniel and Christian to add me on Switch, and Daniel was super surprised by my hours clocked in Animal Crossing, which was like 685 hours at the time. And now I'm happy to announce that I'm at 740 hours.
Oh my god!
Just of the thing coming out. And yeah, I'm having a blast designing this stuff. I really enjoyed Happy Home Designer on the 3DS. So having all these extra options on the Switch, it's super fun. And they have a lot of cool quality of life changes as well. So you could access your storage outside of your house now. So you don't have to go back home every single time. So that's really great. A lot of cool items. So the gyroids, of course, which adds another aspect of collection that longtime fans know of. They just like really cute little clay sort of things that bob around to different types of music if there's anything playing. So you could like deck out your basement with a bunch of creepy gyroids. So that's always fun. And there's a bunch of new items as well, just like furniture and stuff like that to collect. And of course, some new villagers. And I had to get some amiibo cards so I can get some of these villagers in my town instead of doing the whole villager hunt thing, getting Nook Miles and stuff like that. And I got a couple cute new villagers. So having a great time. I cannot believe that I'm still playing this game a year later, but I see no sign of stopping because yeah, it's just so good. So good.
I love this summoning circle of the gyroids I saw.
Yes, I saw that too. I
can't believe it's real.
Yeah. Yeah, they went all out on this update, I think, with the different items that they introduced. It's really, really cool.
Gage, I want to go over to you now.
All right.
You're escaping hell.
I'm escaping hell. I went from Tarkov to hell, and I'm just as successful, which is not very. Also, just before I get into Hades, I just want to let everybody know that 700 hours is 29 Earth days.
Wow.
Oh my god.
That is how much time you spend in Animal Crossing, you absolute mad lad.
Wow.
We have a mutual friend, me and Gage, and she has over 1,000 hours in the game.
Are you serious?
Yes. If you go on the thing and check out her hours, it's over.
No.
So I have nothing on her. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Crazy. Yeah.
That's nuts. Yeah, Hades is awesome, and I know I'm super late to the game. But I've been making a point in like the last 3 months or so to like try and step out of my comfort zone and try things, especially when it comes to media that I normally don't try. So I watched Squid Game, which is the first foreign language TV show that I've watched from start to finish. And I can't do dubbing, so I have to listen to it in its native language with the English subtitles because I just can't. And also, I hear I hear that the voice dubbing for Squid Game is exceptionally bad.
God awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I actually did watch the first 30 minutes of it just to see, and it actually messed with the tone of the show. I thought it was supposed to be like a comedy, and then you go to the English, you're like, oh, or you go back to the native language, you're like, oh no, these are actually really good actors, like that are really trying. So part of that is anime. Rashan and I have talked at length of this, but I'm just not an anime guy. Can't get into it. Still not getting into TV shows, but I did try Invincible on Rashan's recommendation, and I enjoyed it. It was great, and I would have totally not watched that before. But Hades is one of those games where I looked at the art style and I was like, I hear everybody talking about it, how great it is, but it's not for me. It was on Game Pass, decided to boot it up, and man, does this game get roguelite so right. The amount of like what it chooses to be hardcore and when it chooses to be really accessible, I think is a perfect balance. I love the outside of the dungeon progression. I love that if you clear an encounter or a dungeon or a room or whatever you want to call it, that it gives you the option to quit and come back to it, which is really great for somebody like me who works 4 like 10-hour days, and sometimes I'm just like playing a game. I'm like, okay, I can't. I'm too tired. So I love that. I love the options where you can just pause it, come back to it. You're right where you left off. All the boons, all the upgrades. Again, old news for you guys, but man, it's so good. It's so good. So I'm deep in that now. I'm at work thinking about it, and I get home and I play it, and it's awesome. It's so good. It is so good.
Have you beat it yet? Or have you cleared, I guess? Have you done a full run?
Of one biome or like all of them?
All of them. Like, have you?
No,
Have
not
you
even
cleared it?
close. No,
Okay.
no. I've gotten to the third. I'm on the third biome now, which is like the lush, like sort of looking one, because the first one is
Elysium.
yeah. Because you have the fire one, and then the one. So I'm on that one after that. No, I think I only have like 15 hours or 10 hours into it. But I'm hooked, like just totally into it. Looking like on my breaks at work, looking up the Hades wiki to see what the best boons are and
There we go.
and all the different chaos modifiers. Like, is it worth it to go into the room? Is it not? Totally into it. It's great. I love it.
What was everybody's weapon of choice for Hades? I went with the shield most of the time, and I think I beat it on with the
Really?
shield. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I still rock with the swords the most.
I think the sword and the rifle are like the best. The first and the last weapon you get in those games, I think, in that game is good. I tried the spear, didn't like it. The bow, couldn't do it. The shield, I didn't spend much time with, but I feel like, I was using the sword all the way up until I got the rifle, which I just recently unlocked. And I went through the first two biomes on my first try, like trying the rifle for the first time. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll stick with this. This is pretty good.
Mine was the energy sword.
Man.
I was like,
Enough.
wait a second.
I don't think that exists.
Have you played Hades, Dan?
I have not. No.
It's good.
Wow.
If you like roguelites,
man.
man, it's good.
Let me
Yeah.
add that to my backlog of like 12 games.
Stop playing. Okay, from one Halo fan to another, you need to stop playing Master Chief Collection.
I have to
You have
unlock
to
everything. I have to unlock everything. They've just released a bunch of more content now. Yeah.
Dan, why are you even trying? Does Master Chief Collection have a battle royale? Yes or no?
Well,
Oh,
Dead
Does it
game.
have a battle royale?
no.
Then there's no point playing it.
Gage, no, get out of here.
Gage, last thing I'll say is that keep in mind you do have to. You have to clear the game a few times to get like the actual ending.
Yeah.
How many biomes are there?
I don't want to say.
Is there a lot or a little?
I don't want to say.
Am I close or am I not close?
You're like, just at me on Twitter. I want to keep an eye on progress. I've been playing. I bought Mario Party Superstars. I also bought a micro SD for my Switch. So yay, more storage.
Nice.
There's a sale on it on Best Buy and Amazon. So I was like, yeah, $20. I'll get a few extra gigs. Why not? Amazing. I mean, we all know Mario Party games, especially the ones from GameCube and N64, are amazing. So having those with the N64 boards is fantastic. Very cool game. Love that if you disconnect from the online, the game saves. It'll on the last round you're on, so everyone can jump back in. So fantastic for Nintendo improving their online stuff. So I'd love to see that. Hopefully we get better connectivity. I think I forgot to include a news story, but there's reports that Nintendo is trying to bolster up their online. So
$50.
love to see that.
Good. We are giving them
Yes,
$50.
good,
after all.
good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do they have party chat yet or no?
Still on the app.
Have a phone. Yeah. Still on the Nintendo app. Yeah.
Maybe on the next hardware
Do
iteration.
they have Bluetooth? Oh wait, not for microphone.
They do
Yeah, just the
actually now.
headphones.
Oh,
they do?
Oh, the headphones. Yeah, the headphones. The headphones.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Been playing more Bayonetta on my own time because it's a game that I've been trying to get rid of from my backlog. Again, very horny game, so very much a game for me. But also, it's also a platinum game, so I love the combat. It's fantastic. I can't believe I like never sat down and actually played that game till now. But I also, in anticipation for Elden Ring, went back to a game that I have never experienced before, even though I do love the Souls games. That's right. I bought the Dark Souls HD remaster, and started playing through that. And yeah, it's a good game. A little bland, but it's a good game.
Let's start
Cannot
it
wait
off.
to play more. Yeah.
Can't wait to see you die and die some more.
Oh, me too, dude. Yeah, me too. I literally can't wait. I love those games.
How sad is it that when you were talking there and you said HD remake, remaster, I thought that might actually be the title of the game because that's where we're at now. GTA, the collection, the definitive edition. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Man, Gage, I am so happy you brought up remakes because our topic of the show is remakes and how soon is too soon. Thank you so much for that setup. I've got a conversation that's a news story that's gonna stem our conversation. This comes from Game Rant. PlayStation may announce a big remake in December. So whether that be at a forthcoming State of Play or a showcase, most likely, probably, Jeff Keighley's Game Awards is what I'm betting on.
Yep.
It would probably show up there. So I've got a few questions for us, and we'll start with the first two, which is one, do we believe this rumor at all? And two, what could it be if it's true? I can go first if you guys need some time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course, there's been the rumors that they're working on a remake of The Last of Us. Since that game is an older game, I don't think it's quite needing of a remake. But if they do want to combine TLU 1 and TLU 2 in some kind of package together, which I'm sure Sony would love to do to resell that game on PS5 hardware, since that game TLU 2 is a PS4 game, and I guess TLU Remaster is a PS4 game as well. However, yeah, there's rumors that they're getting it on the TLU 2 engine. That way they can package them together. So I can see that making an appearance. Not something I would especially look forward to, but sure, I guess if you missed it, like there's a great package of two amazing games for you to play. The other is that Bluepoint is reportedly working on some kind of either remake or remaster of Bloodborne. The big rumor is that they're not actually remaking it, but they're doing a remaster of it in order to then work on their new game, which is a Bloodborne sequel, because they want to get like the ins and outs of how Miyazaki's level design works.
Yeah, as far as it like needing it, I don't know why people would need a Bloodborne remaster, I guess, would be my only thing. It's like, yes, it would be cool to have it brought to like modern standards and up-resed and better frame rate and all of that, just like God of War 2018 and some of the other games that Sony has ported. But yeah, that seems a little soon to do Bloodborne remaster. I think it would be super cool to see like something like Jak and Daxter come back like as a remake, so to speak, because like Ratchet and Clank has done very well for Insomniac, and see something, you know, of that same similar type of vein come back and kind of give it to Bluepoint because they're kind of the experts in that. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I think there's definitely a good chance we could see it at the Game Awards though, because obviously Jeff Keighley's already been teasing that there's going to be like 40 to 50 game reveals, which is insane.
Oh my god!
And
he said it's the biggest yet. He said,
and like the last couple of years, he's gotten really good stuff. Like last year's, I feel like was the best Game Awards we've ever gotten in a long time, and like, I'm very excited for the Game Awards.
Yeah, quick shout out to Jeff Keighley, because I agreed. The first couple Game Awards I thought were a little unnecessary, and the last two specifically have been really good. Still way too long. You can trim that by like an hour and would still all be fine. But no, they've become really great events where I think he's finding his sweet spot between taking it seriously and having a good time and yeah, so I'm excited. I do think you're right, though, Christian, that this is probably going to be the Game Awards that when this announcement is made. I think it is The Last of Us, and it is technically still a rumor, but I think it's important to remember that this started with a report from Jason Schreier, so he's not just some guy.
Oh, you're right. Yes, you're right.
So it's a rumor, but it's also, I mean, it's probably true. And I think it is a Last of Us collection. I've been tooting that horn for a while. I think they're going to bundle them together. And is it necessary? No. But the question I ask you guys is remaking The Last of Us 1 in The Last of Us 2's engine, like, is there any negative to that? Aside from if they release it on its own and they make you pay full price again, then you can say, okay, this is silly. But if it does come out in The Last of Us collection, as somebody who's on the side of the fence that thinks The Last of Us Part 2 is a masterpiece. Not perfect, but masterclass. Enjoying The Last of Us Part 2, it is integral that you play The Last of Us Part 1, because in order to even kind of understand what Ellie's going through in the Part 2, you need to experience what she experienced in Part 1. So, is it necessary? No. But do I understand it in terms of selling you on this story and this collection? Absolutely. I think that to bundle them together, it's all running on the same engine, the controls are the same, it's a seamless experience. I personally think that this might come with factions as well, whether they're bundled together or not. I think.
Oh, no way.
I don't think they're bundled together, but I think the Last of Us collection and factions have some sort of relation. I don't know, but I would pick this up. I would buy this, and I think they might also be priming for a release on PC as well, because I think it's clear that Jim Ryan wants in on this PC, on the PC sales, because they've been having insane success. He's had multiple interviews recently where he talks about wanting to reach millions and millions and millions of players, and I think he's just waiting for the right time for the fanboys to die down, because there's no negative on releasing your games on console and PC at the same time, because it's not like the PC guys are like, oh, well, I could buy it on my souped up PC or I could get it on PlayStation. Like, it's not really affecting each other. So I think it is a Last of Us collection, and I think that it's a day and date release with PS4 and PS5 and PC.
Now it's justified. You threw in, if it was just PS4 and PS5, then maybe there's like a reasoning there that PS5 players who maybe missed it, right? Or like newcomers who have now bought in a PS5 who didn't have a PS4 now have access to this like super pretty remake of the first one, can now play the second one. But we throw in PC in there, and it's like, yes, all of a sudden you have all these players who may have missed both of them altogether and who have wanted to play these games, who have heard great things, can now play it. Then I think it's justified.
Right.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm with Dan. I would love to see some other properties get the remake treatment. I'm not so high on like Jack and Daxter to get remade, but I would love to see like something like Silent Hill or a Siphon Filter even, and Parasite Eve.
Oh, did you didn't hear about Silent Hill?
What's going on Silent Hill?
There's a team called Blue Box that's making.
Oh, right.
There's no way. No way.
Isn't there also the rumor of like a Metal Gear remake as well coming?
That's also Blue Box.
I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. God, though. Oh my God.
Remember that?
Goodness.
I'll ask the final question. Are there any remakes that you'd like to see across all platforms?
Yes. So just to clarify the beginning of this conversation, we are talking a proper remake, taking an original game, leaving its identity, but bringing it to a new engine with that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about remaster.
I think Demon's Souls.
Right. Okay. So then
that's a justified remake for me.
Red Dead 1 and Red Dead 2's engine. Like, why? Why not? Why has it not happened yet? The map is already in the game. The map is already in the game. Just do it. I wonder if they won't, because they think it might take away from Red Dead 2, because Red Dead 2 is fantastic, but like prior to the release of Red Dead 2, if you look at a lot of articles from like IGN Polygon, a lot of people say Red Dead 1 is Rockstar's greatest game in terms of story. So I don't know if it's like a thing where they don't want to take away from Red Dead 2, but I'm just waiting, because I love Red Dead 1. Like, it's one of my top 3 games of all time. It holds a special place in my heart. And the map's already there. Just, come on. Just do it. Just do it. You don't even have to do the audio. Just leave all the audio as it is. Just remake the game, the new cinematics, new engine. That's it. That's all you got to do.
That is a great idea, Gage.
Very good.
Dan, have you thought of any?
I'm going to cop out here. I'm going to do a cop out and say Halo CE.
Oh God!
Because
I knew it.
Because, but there's good reasoning behind it. Because every time Rowan, Christian, come back! Christian, come back! No, where's he going? Come back! Come back, Christian! Come back! Come back! There's very good reasoning. There's very good reasoning for this. The reasoning is because of like what you and Ro always say is you played Halo CE and you're like, man, this it's just not doing it for me, and it's 100% true because the gameplay is so dated. But that story, I'm telling you, is so good when you play it in the mindset of 2001 when people first experienced that game, it was mind-blowing. If they remade that game with 2021 standards and gameplay of 2021 standards and everything, redid cinematics, redid, even added quotes between people, more dialogue. Sorry, that's what I was looking for. More dialogue in terms of the entire story encompassing what's happening. Like, that would be such a good freaking remake, and I would love it. And the jump to Halo 2 is so much better. Like, the gameplay in Halo 2 is perfectly fine, so that would not be an issue. Like, it would be so good.
The gameplay in Halo 2 is... Sorry, go ahead.
I said, look at the success of RE2. Like,
yes,
the remake, and they did do changes, and people love the remake.
Final Fantasy 7 remake. One of my
Oh,
favorite
Rogue.
games, yeah.
Another,
Yeah.
Yes.
Gage, you were saying, I'm sorry.
I was just saying, just correcting Dan, that the gameplay in Halo 2 is perfect, not perfectly fine. But so I actually look at it from a different angle than you, Dan. So we're talking about actual proper full remakes. So Halo CE probably is the one that needs it the most. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I actually think it needs more done to its story than its gameplay. I think Halo CE has the weakest story of all of them. It's necessary, it sets it up, but that's why I was telling Rashan and Christian when I was trying to get you can read the synopsis of Halo 1, but you got to play Halo 2. You need to get to Keith David, man. It's so good. It holds up.
Is that Master Chief?
Yes.
Is that his real name?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Keith David is
also... No, Keith David is Master Chief. Also,
I don't know what's
I forget what
happening. I haven't played the game. I'm so confused.
Yeah, you shoot some aliens, you move on.
You're Keith David the whole time. You. But no, I think if they modified the story and dialogue of Halo CE, then that would be worthwhile. But yeah, you guys both of you still need to play Halo 2, man. It's good. It's so good. It's the best one.
There's still...
I need to beat Halo 1.
I'm so upset that you said the story of CE is so bad, because there's so many good story beats in Halo CE. Like,
it's not that it's bad. It's just that it
in comparison.
I don't think they knew. They might have been really happy with the game they made, and obviously it pioneered so many things. But Halo 1 at the time was great because of the leaps it took in gameplay. I don't know. They set up a really good story, but it wasn't like it's a New Hope and it's Empire Strikes Back. It's a New Hope and it's Empire Strikes Back. That's the perfect, in my mind, that's the perfect parallel. I'm sorry.
Gage, they didn't even finish Halo 2's story. It's an unfinished story.
And it's still a banger. It's still a banger.
Just like Dune.
Just like Dune. Halo 2 is Dune. And Halo CE is like Mad Max 1. It's all right.
And
it's okay.
And Halo 3 is like Dune Part 2. It's going to be great. Best ever.
Yeah.
Boom.
You heard it here first, folks.
My goodness.
So to circle back to the original Todd's question, has to...
Whoa.
No, it's okay. Do you want to say how soon? And
No, give me an answer for what we want to see on any platform.
I have two. My first one I could do really quick is Kirby Air Ride, obviously.
Bro.
I love it. Thank you, Christian. Just forget I want a Mario Kart 9, so don't take this seriously. But forget Mario Kart 9. Just throw that out. If you're working on a Nintendo, it's okay. We don't need it. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is fine. Let's work on a Kirby Air Ride. Let's do that. Let's work on that instead. It'll be just as successful. No, it won't, as Mario Kart, but I will love it. I will buy it as many times as you need me to for it to be successful. So go ahead and work on that, please. My other one is The Legend of Zelda Minish Cap on the GBA. Remake that, but in a 3D Zelda, as a 3D Zelda, because that game is gorgeous as pixels. So I could only imagine what they could do with it now, and have Zelda or Link. Sorry, oh my god, I did the fake nerd thing. But as Link, be the super small Link, and then there's beautiful, huge mushrooms as you're walking around this world. That would be so cool to be in that sort of world. So I would love a Minish Cap make. That would be awesome.
Kiercraft is in the chat and he says, "Oh yeah, Minish Cap all the way."
Yes.
Represent.
So
I've got a question for you,
Swords.
Rashan.
Yes.
So those two options, I wonder if I can make you buck one of those. What about a remake of Animal Crossing New Leaf?
No, not for those two. No.
No, okay, all right. I just want to see if I can get you. I just want to see if I can get you.
Give us Air Ride, Nintendo, please.
Please. Oh my god.
Doug Bowser.
Please don't.
I'll throw an Ape Escape.
Ooh.
Sequel, remake, whatever. Just give me another Ape Escape. Good one. Okay. So now to circle back to our original question of Todd's. How soon is too soon? It sounds like from our answers, it seems to me like recent games that are still playable on modern hardware. Take, for instance, Bloodborne. You can play Bloodborne on your PS5 via backwards compatible PS4. Same with The Last of Us. Sounds like those kind of games are a little bit too soon. Gage is somewhere in the middle with Red Dead 1. Could use some touches up, so you wouldn't mind a remaster of that game, right? We're getting into like 2 generations ago. But I think games that are like Dan said, Halo CE, games that I pointed to earlier, like a Siphon Filter or a Silent Hill, those games are worth rediscovering again through a different modern lens. So, you guys cool with remakes being left to older games, so to speak?
Yeah,
games from childhood.
Yeah, I've also got an alternate spin, and I know you're a big movie guy, Christian, like I am, and this topic comes up quite a bit. But not only old games, but let's remake okay games. Let's remake mediocre games that maybe could have had that extra step taken to make it like great.
Dan already said Halo CE needs a remake, so
that's true. So Dan's on the right track.
Christian,
that's
get
true.
Out of here. Get out of here!
Whoa,
that's true. That's true. No,
Gage,
but
don't tell him that's true. Get out of here.
But
any examples you have, Gage? That's interesting.
So, I mean, okay, so it might not fly nowadays, although it is over the top and zany. So, but like say Mercenaries 2 is a game that I loved growing up. I love those B tier pandemic games, right? So games, the Saboteur is probably a much more acceptable game nowadays than, being a private mercenary in Venezuela destroying everything. But the Saboteur, a great game, but didn't get full budget. It didn't get the full weight behind it. So we have these talks about movies that are like really, really good premises, but they didn't really nail the execution. Like, we should remake the okay movies. Like, let's bring that mentality to video games. It'll never happen because these publishers only see dollar signs. But that's where my mind goes. Like, I love the pandemic era, sort of the B tier games. That market's kind of gone away now. You have AAA and you have indie, and that's kind of it. But I can think of quite a few. There's this one game. What was it? Journey to the West or Journey to Elysium or something like that. There's a really, really big guy, and he's got a small companion with him. I can visualize the box art. It's like dystopia, sort of like overgrown. What is it called?
I don't know.
I don't know. But do you guys ever play Gun Club games like?
No.
Gun Club. Again, these are all like these weird B tier games, like from the mid 2000s. Like Army of Two. Let's give Army of Two like
now we're talking.
a huge AAA remake. Like quality graphics, quality story, good acting. Let's take a lot of these B campy games and like give them the full treatment and see if we can make an emotional, proper story out of some of these like kind of interesting ideas.
Remake Naughty Bear.
Remake Naughty Bear. Yes,
I am with you there.
Yes.
I'm sorry, bro. God. But also, in the same breath, I am very excited for Dead Space. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
But again, a beloved like innovator, and it's like, okay, let's remake the game that everyone really loves. It's like, what? Let's try some of the oddballs that you had a good. Like Naughty Bear was so much fun. I'm so glad you said that. I totally forgot that game existed. But like, imagine that. But like, it plays like Friday the 13th or Dead by Daylight. You're just running around like as this teddy bear. Like, you know what I mean? Like that'd be so cool.
Now it may be justified. So to answer the question, how soon is too soon? The answer is, it depends. Thank you, everyone, for joining us live on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, and Stitcher. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Gage. And thank you, me. This has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love. And oh, wait, I said Dan's thing. And we are out.
Much love, and keep on gaming.
Yeah.
I am Venom.
Christian.
Gage.
What?
Me?
Oh.
You're supposed to say something.
Goodbye.